So I thought he would be a really good speaker to have at the district conference and district training assembly. So here we are. He seems to be willing.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer questions or lend ideas. As you know, as you may know, I've had the pleasure of speaking at so many Rotary district conferences and assemblies that I've learned from the best, man. I not only know what to do, I know what not to do. And both lists is equally as important, right?
They are.
Funny story as we're getting juiced up here about the texting. Sydney was a long time ago. So back then, it was considered discourteous to have your phone out at a business meeting. Today, it's protocol.
Right.
And somebody had written a letter to the Rotarian magazine. It was called the Rotarian at the time, and they said that they were disgusted that people would be using their phones during meetings. And I countered with a letter to the editor that said I support it and I think it's great. Because for all you know, that like Carolyn just said, they're checking their calendar. You just told them to do something on a certain date. Now they're using their phone to enter something you just told them about, right? And I got hate mail. Like we weren't ready for it yet or whatever, you know. But eventually people caught up with the idea. I think we still have problems with people using their phones and being distracted during meetings, but we can talk about that another time. Are you doing your district assembly and your discon in the same weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good for you.
So why don't we give Michael kind of like the lay of the land, what the plan of action, what the weekend is going to look like? Who wants to drive that train? Carolyn, Rich?
Well, I think Coop might want to handle most of that.
Drive. Yeah.
Right.
So we're gonna pair together with Jeff and I discussed it, and we usually think it's best when those things are paired together. You have a bigger draw. So we're looking at April 29th and 30th in Jacksonville. We're going to start Friday afternoon, like with a lunch for the assembly portion. We're going to have, some training in the afternoon. That evening we'll have an event. We're thinking, and it's up in the air at this time. We're exploring a couple options, but it could be off-site even. A couple different things we're looking at, or it could be on-site. But then the next day, alternately, the next day would be the conference, and we would have, speakers all day. It would be general sessions all day long, speakers throughout the day, and then in the evening, some kind of event. Most likely on site, I would think.
So if you don't mind, I'll fold in and feel free to speak up at any time, everybody. My experience has been with these events that they're like pieces of sushi. I don't know how fond you are of sushi, but when you put a piece of sushi in your mouth, you taste all the flavors, right? Certain parts of your mouth react to salt, sugar, cold, whatever. And that's what makes that piece of sushi so tasty. It's the same thing with event planning. A killer venue like the Daytona Speedway, a killer speaker lineup, a special theme. Maybe there's a special announcement or some sort of side event like a 5K or something that's happening. And so the idea is to create this piece of sushi that is so appetizing and so fun that people just, it becomes undeniable. I've never gone to a district conference, but I'm going to go to this one. Think about, to mix metaphors here, food metaphors, you're looking for, it's easy to get all the low-hanging fruit to attend, all your stalwarts, all the people that are always at district conference. The trick is to get the next 10%.
Mm-hmm.
And the spouses, right? So in 16-17, I had a theme, which was go public with Rotary. I happened to be a public speaker, and so I was using a face card that I knew I could play. So even my governor visits, we invited the public to come. Can you imagine that? The governor visits to the club, and we had newspapers showing up to cover it. So what do you do for a living, Rich?
Insurance, property and casualty insurance.
Yeah, I can't help you.
Exciting stuff.
He used to be a fireman, though.
Well, there's something there. I don't know why. We just have to figure it out. Jeff, are you working or retired?
I'm a accounting professor.
Okay. So a teacher?
Yeah.
Professor. Okay. So we figure out, what it is about your personalities and your skill set that lends itself to the event. And there's always a way to do this. Farmers, the guy that followed me, Barry Frazier, is a farmer. So we managed to use that to his advantage. And then when you market the same way. You market the salt in the piece of sushi and the rice and the ahi, right? Not just that it's sushi, because that message says we're having a conference again this year, which is the same message we saw last year. But what's special about this one? And it's the ingredients. So from my end, I'll be supplying, if you decide to have me, 2-minute videos, because that's the best way to decide if you like a speaker. All speaker websites look the same, all our headshots, you can't tell anything. But a video, you tell a lot in a few seconds. I like his style, I like his humor, I like how he dresses, I like her hair, whatever. I like how she rolls with the audience. And you can see all that in a 2-minute thing. So I would do that, if I were you, I would do that with all your speakers. I wouldn't even hire a speaker, invite a speaker, unless they had a 2-minute promo video of some sort.
Understood.
And then you go to the venue. I know you're doing it at the Hyatt. I'll bet the Hyatt has some killer high-res photos on their website. Drag them to your desktop if you're on a Macintosh, or snippet them if you're on a PC, and drop them in. This is a fantastic venue. A lot of these people haven't been out to a big hotel, a glamorous hotel, in 2 years. It's a selling point.
It's the venue itself. I mean, I wasn't super excited about doing it in downtown Jacksonville, but logistically, the venue, because it's strategically located near our membership base, it's a good idea. But it's also a beautiful, it's on the water. It's in downtown Jacksonville. It does look cool, I mean, so you are right. I think if we use some photographs of the view on the river and looking at the skyline, it is pretty cool.
Especially the skyline at night, Rich.
Yeah, the bridge
bridges.
is lit up, and yeah.
Somebody has a picture of that sunset, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Let's find it.
We were
Easy
actually trying to work towards that for Mike Dara's year. We had that whole video we created about St. Augustine. And then we didn't get to have the conference, so the video just never happened. So
Oh yeah.
An extension of what we just talked about. Sorry, Marie.
I said it could be something you think about, do some videos with someone, on the water taxis going across to the,
Yeah. If you do a video promo suggestion, that it not be any longer than a minute.
Okay.
You'll get a lot of content and you want to use all of it. And then pretty soon you got a 5-minute video. I've seen conference promos that last as long as the conference does.
Yeah.
Remember,
no one's
that
going to
you
watch
can
it. Is
sold
what it really
an automobile in 30 seconds. So we should be able to get people to buy a conference ticket in a minute, right? Think of it that way. A cousin comment to what I just said about marketing the event. So now when you market, you're going to do, hopefully, and I can send you all this, whoever needs it, Jeanette, whoever, your ops person. But I use a 100-day marketing plan. And the reason you do that is because, and for a conference, you could do a full year. Like in our district, we were one of the early districts to get money in advance, registration for the next event. We always announced it, and in which case you got psychological buy-in. Oh, that sounds interesting, I might go. But now we had financial commitment, which was different, right? And we used that money for seed money for stuff. And we use those people as salespeople because now they were testimonials, 100 people already registered, all these little tricks that you can use. And in that 100-day period then, and it's 100 days because if you only start marketing it 2 months out, it seems desperate. You're always getting the same message over and over again. People get message fatigue. But 100 days out, you've got a team of people. It looks like more energy. And now you have time to stagger these bits of sushi, the parts of the sushi and the venue and the speakers, right? Imagine you could have up to 20 posts promoting the conference. And every post includes the reg link. Always, always, always the call to action. So one last thing, and then we'll open it up. There are 4 main personality styles, and you want to market to all 4 of them. You know about Myers-Briggs and all these different some people, there's 64 personality styles. Let's not quibble about that tonight. For our purposes, there are 4: the relator, the thinker, the socializer, and the director. And when you can appeal to all 4 personalities, you'll sell more tickets. And that's what happens when you have, let's say you have a funny speaker and you're marketing the funny speaker, and all the socializers go, I'm in, right? Or you punch out some stuff about value, or you're going to learn about the foundation. You're going to learn how to raise money for the club, and all the thinkers go, I love that. I'm in. So you think about marketing to the 4 personalities, and attendance always goes up.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Who should I send this little packet to?
About
Send
marketing?
it to me.
Jeanette?
Send it, yeah.
Okay, Jeanette, would you put your email address in chat when you get a second, and I'll copy it from there? What other questions or thoughts? And I don't mean to pretend like I have the gig. If I do, fantastic. If I don't, and you need to deliberate or consider other people, I totally understand. But I'm happy to be a resource for you on this call.
Michael, can you just tell us a little bit about your Rotary story individually, personally?
Yeah, I came into Rotary through a program called GSE, Group Study Exchange, which is now defunct. I believe it's called VTT now, but you don't
It's
hear
not
much about it.
defunct. Just a correction, it's not defunct, it's just no longer funded by Rotary International or the foundation,
Okay.
but it's still available.
Oh, that's good to know. I mean, I'm a proud graduate and I didn't know that, so that's good news.
He's also the foundation chair.
Yeah. So when I was getting ready to go on the GSE, I had a 6-month ramp up, Rich, and I learned more about this great organization than most Rotarians learn in 6 years, because we were studying it, right? Not only what was going on in our district, but we were studying, turns out, Johannesburg, South Africa. And I decided before we left for the trip, I was going to join when I got back, because to be on the GSE at the time, Jeanette, you might remember, and maybe it's still true, you don't have to be a member of Rotary.
Only the leader, back then, I'm sure it's still the same. Back then, the leader had to be,
That's
but
right.
then everybody else could not be. They
That's
were
correct.
not allowed to be.
Yep. And it changed me, Rich. You know, I was single at the time and I needed something like this in my life. You know, I wanted to do something that was bigger than me. I was thinking about myself all the time. I wanted to be involved with something bigger. I'm not a joiner by nature, but I joined the Southgate Rotary Club in Michigan. I'm a member of the Troy Club now, not far away. But it was the best decision I ever made. There's a video on YouTube about that. People saying, what's that pin for? And it's got thousands of views. Apparently it resonates with people. Does that answer your question,
Michael?
sir?
Yeah.
You know, do you remember one of your classmates, Marshall Butler?
Oh, sure do. Just
So
talked with him the other
he's
day.
in our district.
Oh, I love Marshall.
Yeah, I
And we
figured you would.
did
Fancy
a
pants.
video together on how to do large events because he's the guru, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Awesome.
Other questions or ideas that you want to bat around?
So what would we do? Just buy you a plane ticket or something, or how does? it
Oh,
all
yeah,
work?
sorry, the terms. So I'm a professional speaker and my fee these days is 10K plus expenses, but I've never charged Rotary for talks. I offer a chance for you to pay a stipend. Next question people always ask me is, what's the stipend? Not what's a stipend, but what's the stipend? What is the dollar amount? And I never name the dollar amount. You do whatever you're comfortable with. And I only do that because my accountant feels better when I don't do so many free gigs.
I'm accountants.
Because Rotary found out I speak for free. And the calls keep coming, man. And I never say no. So we found a way that was somewhat equitable. I can at least sleep okay at night. Hopefully you can too. Another pitch that you might be interested in. So I'm getting married next year if we can find a venue. And my fiance is Rene Pothetes, and she was a distinguished president, which means she won the, you all know what that is, from the Presidential Citation. And she won platinum distinction a couple of years ago. So she's a Rotarian. And she speaks on a topic called Rotary life balance. And she's good. And she's a woman. And are you catching my drift about the marketing piece again?
Mhm.
So she she's not interested in keynote slots, but she loves to help out. If there's a way that she can help you in what we call pop-up presentations. Both her and I are attending the Great Lakes Pets, if they hold it in March. And when they break out to the district rooms, the district governors will say yay or nay. We want Michael and Renee to come visit for a pop-up presentation. Could be between 5 or Tracy Sincock from 6400, Jennifer Jones's district, called me this morning. She said, she didn't even know about this. And she said, can you come into she's a DGE. Can you come into my breakout room and do 15 minutes? And I said, well, yeah, we can do however long you want, but the offer is 5 and I don't mind doing 15, but governors are funny about that territory and that time. It's treasured real estate as you're trying to get your train out of the station. So however I can help. And if you want Renee to come, no fee for her, even though she's speaking on the circuit now. We just did a gig for Howard Capital, which is a financial services firm in Roswell, that we both spoke at their national sales meeting. But I'm pretty sure she'll waive her fee for you guys for the plane ticket.
Understood.
She's a great role model for females.
So
That sounds
Michael,
really
could I
cool.
ask that you send me like I'm assuming she's got like a 2-minute video or something like that. So I can share that with the group so we can
Yep.
make a decision.
I'll make a note.
And then the other question I had was, so being that we would like to take advantage of you for the whole time that you're with us.
You're gonna have to
what
change the wording.
topics- What topics might, how can we diversify your topics? So maybe we could have you speak at the district training assembly on Friday, which we may have a different audience, but we may have some overlap. So we want to deliver a different message on Saturday.
Yeah,
Is
happy
that
to. So
accurate, Rich?
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
let me share a couple of pre-tested, road-tested keynote or topic titles. And I can put Rotary clothes on all of them. You remember the G.I. Joe doll? And also Barbie, initially they just came out with one outfit, but then you could put different outfits on them. So all my clothes can be dressed, all my talks can be dressed in Rotary clothes. So the first one is called Effective Leadership, Getting People to Do Stuff. You decide which group needs this message.
Mhm.
And that's a leadership talk. I have a talk on change. It's called Shift Happens, SHIFT. And that talk with Rotary clothes is about COVID and coming back out of the dark and doing meetings online and hybrid meetings and all of the, the 7th area of change. And now we've got all the millennials now, we're going to deal with the ecosystem as if we didn't have enough to do. How does all this fit in on our desks, right? This kind of a thing. So change, leadership, and there's a third one that, what the hell is it? It's not less than, it's just, I can't think of it. It had to do with, like diving down deeper into those categories. Like Carolyn said she heard me in Sydney, and I have forgotten about this, how to get great speakers for your club. I mean, that's a fantastic segment for the assembly.
It was a huge impact on my year.
But maybe not as in all encompassing the broad net, because now you got the spouses in the keynote session, and you're talking to the spouses about how to use speakers to get more club participation, right? So you see how one might fit better in a certain context. All of those keynotes are on my website, michaelangelocaruso.com. Work with Michael keynotes. Easy to find.
Okay.
And if you have questions about any of them, I customize too. Like if you've got a particular issue or struggle in your district and you want me to hammer a nail for you, just tell me what it looks like.
Got it.
I also do a fundraiser. This is something to think about looking forward, where I come in and speak at no cost, just travel expenses. And we put 100+ people in a room and charge them money from either personal wallets or corporate wallets. Think about a company sending 10 people or 10 companies sending 10 people to the event. the money goes to the club. It's a $10,000 net like clockwork. 5,000 in registrations at $50 a head and 5,000 in sponsorships.
Wow.
Not a fit for every club, but when you find the right club, it'll be all anybody talks about the whole year. It's fantastic because we load the room not with Rotarians, but with non-Rotarians, and they get Rotarized while they're there. And I tell the host club, it's usually a club event, not a district event. I tell the host club, have applications handy, because these people walking in, they don't know what Rotary normally looks like. They just know they love what's happening on this day. Now you got to get them to come to the club a couple more times to sign them up. But it's a fantastic, how do you do? Separate invitation.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it.
Cool.
Do you have any more questions for us, Michael?
No, I'm good. I mean, I've been doing this now for almost 25 years, and I love to give back. And all districts are different. All of them have unique personalities, unique, problems, and so on. But at the end of the day, they're just good people, man, looking for a good time. And we're using, don't forget this, everybody, we're using this event to sell next year's event, right?
Yeah.
So I
that's a
like to
great
draft,
idea.
what drafting is with the geese, and the cyclists do it. When you ride behind the guy that's in front, it's a little bit easier, right? And that's why I'm not super interested in having average attendance, 200 people at your event. I'm interested in the 300 number, and I'll help you get there.
Got it.
And then
So
once we do
question.
that, the following year, and then you try to string 2 or 3 years together in a row, and that's how you shift culture. And don't forget, the clubs are watching and modeling the whole time.
Right.
Whatever the district does, the clubs try to copy.
Got it.
So question for Rich and Jeff, what kind of attendance are you looking for from Rotaract at this event? And then to Michael, how can we sell it to that group? We have a pretty good community Rotaract base in the Jacksonville market. So I'd like to be able to tap into them.
Good idea.
I would love to see 10% Rotaract. I don't know that that's feasible, but I'm just thinking because we're in the Jacksonville area, there could be a decent draw. I mean,
You'll need a parallel program for them because they don't like to suffer through all the adult stuff usually. So some sort of breakout where they can eat their own
Okay.
food, make the kind of noise they want to make, be as active as they want to be, and then pull them in for the special keynotes. When I say special, the ones that might resonate with them more,
yeah,
and use us as fish bait, because they've also need to get out after all this time. And this is a pre-vetted, pre-approved program for them. I liked what somebody said, Rich said 10%, Jeanette's initial idea. And I call that filling the corners of the room, right? So you get your core followers, all the stalwarts. Then you get more spouses to attend than normal. Then you get the 30 somethings, like try to ID the 30 somethings in the district. It's not an easy thing to do. I tried to do it in my district. I wanted to set up a field in Club Runner where you would put in your birth date. And I got the most amazing amount of pushback on it. Like, it's not secure. And it's none of your business how old I am. And why? Are you going to start treating us differently? I mean, I got the most amazing comments. So we still haven't done it, but you know where they are. And I've done a trick. You can see it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, where I pull out the youngest people in the room, and there are audible gasps in the room when I pull up all the 30 and 40 somethings on stage, because the Rotarians didn't know they were in the room. They all sit in the back. They're quiet. They never raise their hand. They never stick their head up. You know how new people are. And I introduce the 30 somethings to their own district, and everybody wins as a result of it. That's a little bit that I do on occasion. Rich, I can do it for you if you want, Jeff, whatever.
okay.
More background for me. Jeanette, are you working during the day? And if so, what do you do?
I'm in real estate,
Okay.
so my schedule is pretty flexible unless I've got a showing or an appointment or an home inspection or something like that.
Thank you. And Marie, are you busy during the day?
Yeah. My husband and I run 2 companies. We have an environmental restoration construction company,
Oh,
and
wow.
then we have a tennis club. that we run.
That is the combination I would not have guessed. Farm, tennis, restoration, very good. Carolyn, retired or working?
No, I have a social media management company, so I write copy and do ads all day, every day, and
that's
interact
right.
with
I remember
customers.
seeing that, and we were going to talk about that. Maybe we can do that on the side.
Okay,
I ask because, again, it's background. Everybody's bringing a skill set. Carolyn, I might be able to get you some clients. I mean, you just never know how we can help each other.
okay, all right, that's cool.
No pressure to think of everything today, guys. If you like what happened today, thumbs up. If there's something else I can answer for you, are we good, Jeff? Did I answer your questions?
Oh yeah, we got more than one thumb, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And then what we could do is look ahead. The date is April of this year, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Mine too, yeah.
So we would need to get to some paperwork pretty soon, which is a simple agreement.
Mhm.
I would buy the ticket in advance to save you the money, of course. Shop as if it was my own money. We would invoice the district and be clean on all that stuff before we travel, or before I travel, if it turns out to be just me. I'll need a green light on Renee, which you can only give me after you see the content. I do have one little sticky thing I need to take care of, which is I already have an invitation for this weekend. I didn't tell you sooner because I'll tell you why. It was to speak in Africa. And it was a Rotary invitation. And so with IA going virtual and this poor lady in Africa waiting, it was a president's rep gig. She can't get an answer from Evanston because Evanston is not likely to approve travel expenses.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. They would make IA virtual and then buy me a plane ticket 2 months later. This thing's got to play out more, I think. So we agreed that this is the week she's going to pull the plug on it, and we'll agree to work together another time. But that's I don't want to accept this without telling her I'm not available, and that's just an order of business.
Sure,
Understood.
Okay.
sure.
Okay, Michael, when you forward me that information, also include that agreement so we can review that.
Let me get you the other stuff first because the agreement
Okay.
takes some time to prep, and there's no point wasting time prepping all of it at the same
Agreed,
time.
yep.
Let me leak it to you if that's okay.
Understood.
Okay.
So when Coop, do you think that we would be able to get back with Michael?
I plan on this group getting together next week at some point to just do a follow-up discussion, and I would hope we can make a decision at that time once we see your wife's video and get a chance to kind of discuss it in the background. I would
Sure.
think by next week.
Sure. And Rich, if it's helpful, I know this sounds odd to say this, but I've done it a lot and it's your choice. I'm happy to leave the connection open. I'm going to go eat dinner here in a minute. I'm going to shut down my video, shut down my audio and leave. And then you can just do a little huddle now.